Hi guys, this is Tina back in for another video. Thank you for clicking on this video. If you've decided to spend any of your time today with me, I really do appreciate it. If you could subscribe, that would be great. The person I'm going to talk about today is the story of Khalil Wheeler Weaver. So this was an online predator. He is now 27 years old, born April of 1996. So in 2016, between I believe August and November, he went on like a murderous thing, as far as being a not just an online predator, but also a possible serial, offender. So that's a better word. Remember, again, YouTube, we have to be a little careful what we say here. So apparently, what's interesting about this guy is also that he comes from a background of a family that of investigators and law enforcement. I believe his dad is some type of investigator, or someone in his family is investigator. So I find that very interesting that he would go completely opposite ways of his family. And then also there's some people that have come out and talked about when he was in school. When he was in school, he didn't have a lot of friends or whatever, but he was always well-to-do. You could tell he was from a well-to-do family by the way he was dressed, the way he would tuck his clothes into his khaki pants at school. Certain way of dressing that just showed that he came from a good background, or at least that's what we think. I mean, nobody really knows what goes on in a house, but you would think with law enforcement and investigators that that would, maybe there wasn't a lot of time for. I mean, we really don't know. But this guy, anyway, he does some crazy stuff. He's a psychopath. So what he does is he lures women via online, and he's looking for mostly women that are compromised in some type of way. And when I say that, I mean compromised in the sense that they may be looking for money online in exchange for certain favors. So that he thought that if he chose, went for those women, that there's less chance that someone would be looking for them. So and this is pretty interesting, and this is really sickening, if to be honest with you. There was a victim now that we know of that is his first victim. Now we don't know really for sure if this is his first victim, but this is what's on record, is that her name was Robin Daphne Michelle West, okay, age 19. So what ended up happening was the police were called to this house fire in New Jersey. This happened in New Jersey in 2016. The police were called to a house fire, and so I guess a lot of fire departments responded. The fire was eventually put out, and then later a body was found in the house. So apparently, not only did he SA her, he also set her, the house on fire, thereby he ended up being charged for desecration of a person or a body. So he later then went on to lure in Sarah Butler, age 20, and also did very similar acts to her, but he asphyxiated her rather than setting the person, ablaze. I mean, this is crazy. This is like, this is, thank God they caught this guy. I mean, we don't know. He could have done many murders before that, but he's relatively young, but who knows? He could have started at a young age. It's just very bizarre. So then there was also another woman named Joanne Brown, age 33. She was also asphyxiated. So he would lure them in with the chance of money, and in exchange for certain favors. You know what I'm talking about? And just because these people were compromised, I know one of these women had schizophrenia and was struggling to get her life back together, and was then taken by this man. So he was looking for women that were compromised. All of the victims are very sad, but this one is one of the worst, because this girl was only 15 years old, Mawa Dumbia. So she was also allegedly strangled, asphyxiated. So he does have one surviving victim. Thank God for her, Tiffany Taylor. She woke up in the middle of the attack. It was kind of weird. He had lured her in, and apparently he had duct taped her face, and you know, like the whole thing was weird. The way he lured her in, and then she goes and she picks him up, and he's wearing a ski mask and gloves. I mean, wow, like I would not have allowed that person into my car, but again, she did not deserve any of this. None of this is her fault. You know, sometimes we make decisions, and this guy was convincing enough that it was cold out there and that he needed to cover up. He eventually asks her to pull over so that he can use the bathroom, and this is where he apparently hit her over the head and SA'd her many times. And I'm not sure. She says from the behind. I'm not sure if she's talking about the S word. You know, something with me, ends with MY and starts with an S. I'm not sure. She doesn't mention anything about that, but that would also be another element to the case. So what ends up happening is some friends somehow they pull this, you know, they do their own online sleuthing, and they end up trapping Khalil Weaver into. They lured him in, so they used his own tricks on him, called the police. He was then arrested. He has been charged with also the desecration, remember I was talking about, of the first victim, charged with the other, you know, the demise of all his other victims. He's sentenced right now to 160 years in prison, as far as we know, in New Jersey. So hopefully he will stay there. I'm not sure why, if he just pled guilty or what the deal is, or why this guy isn't on death row, but maybe New Jersey doesn't have, or they may have abolished the death penalty. Some states have opted to do that and opted for life in prison. I know I've talked about that many times before. I'm not going to get into that here. You guys already know where I stand with all that. So in any event, I just thought this was a really interesting case, and it's very important to stay aware out there when you're online. I don't do online dating anymore. I told you in the past, in my past videos, that I have done it before. I would always cross-reference numbers, or, you know, like the last time, I think I only went out with one person, and I knew more about him than he was surprised to see what I knew about him. So just so that you know, I'm not getting paid by any of this. So for any of this, so if you go to Google or into your search engine or whatever type of engine you have, you can type in True People Search, okay? And then it's going to pop up. There's going to be a box that pops up, and you can click phone number, right? So let's say somebody gives you their phone number. You put their phone number into that system, and once you put that number into that system, it should come back with a name and addresses. For me, if the names don't match up with whatever the person was telling me on the phone, then I wouldn't even bother going out on a date with that person. That's just me. There was also maybe I was being a little over paranoid. I use it's called a burner app. You can get it on your phone where you get a second number, so because if you can check them, they can also check you. So you have to be careful when you give your number out, especially, you know, online dating. You know, like I said before, it's very dangerous. And it's just because we're putting so much trust into people that we don't know. There are a lot of predators out there, so you just got to be safe and be careful out there. In any event, guys, I really do appreciate if you spent any of your time with me today. I hope that you will like and subscribe. I really could use the subscribes, because the more subscribers I get, the longer I can make the videos. If you'd like my videos to be longer, there's some videos that I feel like I have to cram so much information into just because I have such a short time frame. It gives me only 15 minutes to do the video. So I really would appreciate any support, any views. I'm really happy that you're here. If you're just here to watch, that's fine too. I appreciate that as well. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Okay, take care of yourselves out there. Bye-bye.